Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Happy Monday. Man, if you've never been here before, okay, this is a live stream. So if you were looking for a particular video and you're on a replay, you may want to go into the videos, look and see what's there. Look for the answer for the question that you have. Or if this is your first time here, we have apprentices, journeymen, business owners, social media people. There's all kinds of people in here with comments, with suggestions, with ideas. If you've got questions, bring them up. We'll get them posted up for me to see, and we will go from there. But man, if you're in here live, hang around, check it out. We do appreciate you being here. This has been a crazy week. We talk about plumbing, but if you want to hear about more about the trades, we've got an online magazine, www.thetradetalks.com. And I will actually get a copy of it here in a minute and get it up here and show it to you and see what we can do. And Will, if you'll slide the mouse over here a minute and hide something, I got a big deal right here in the middle of my screen. Those of y'all that don't know, Will takes care of everything around here for me, and man, it really does help. Perfect. Thank you so much. So, God, how's everybody doing today? This has been such a wonderful weekend, whole 9 yards. We went early last week because we had a podcast interview right after it. That was really neat. But I got to tell y'all, ever since a week ago last Friday, man, things here have been crazy. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching, all the new subscribers. Man, I've got plumbers, I got social media people, I've got people that are like, oh my God, I have no idea why YouTube recommended this video to me, but I do appreciate them doing it. Pretty cool. Be careful where your mouse is over on my screen. Okay, I was fixing to say, if you press that X, you keep hovering over, I'm going to go away. Anyway, the cool thing is, man, the past week or two have just been ridiculous. And for those of y'all that hadn't seen, man, when this pops up in a minute, we are getting this close to 125,000 subscribers. And 10 days ago on Friday, we had 59,000. And man, we have just experienced a super massive growth. What's that? 75,000? Not bad. 65,000. Not bad for a little bitty plumbing channel. So I really do. I want to say, man, thanks to everybody. The people that are watching it, people that are sharing it. I've got a lot of people that share out these live streams, or even when they find a video they like, they'll share it out to different people. I've seen people share it and tag it on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or wherever. So, man, it's just pretty cool. But we have seen a growth like we could have never imagined. We started early last week, and we had some people jump in and say, hey, this was really cool. We appreciate you starting early. We had some things come up during the day that we had to work on to try to get things done. We probably are going to try to start going live at 3 o'clock and still go till the 5 or 5:30 like we used to. Man, there's a lot of people now, so it's kind of cool, and we want to jump in and do things. But like I said, if this is your first time here, number one, thank you for being here. If you stumbled into the live stream on a recorded deal, man, check it out. You might find some answers to some questions that you have. If you're wanting to get into the trades, jump in any Monday on the live stream, ask questions. There's a lot of good people in here. And man, we love what we're doing. So thank you for being here. If you're not really interested in the live stream, go check out the videos. I'm tongue twisted already. If you jump in here and you're on the live stream here and it's the recorded version, go check out some videos, get some answers to some questions. But man, we are having a blast. So man, starting it off early, Ruan Marino. And I want you to know, Ruan, thank you, brother. Appreciate the super chat. Man, here's the thing. Y'all, this is my marketing guy. This is my new website guy. And I got to tell you, it's crazy. If y'all have not seen my website, and I'm not saying jump out of YouTube now, but go to www.texasgreenplumbing.com and check it out. He has done and I say him, it's him and his team have done some really fantastic things. It has been great. The phones are blowing up. And, man, I can't complain about that at all. How are we looking over, Mr. Will?
Looking good. Got a full house. Got over 100 already in the chat today.
I like that. That's a great thing. That is actually a great thing. So, Ruan, number one, thank you. He's working on some other stuff for me. Ruan's actually got a video on his YouTube channel. Man, a phenomenal channel, over 100,000 subs, great information. I went in there and started studying what he was doing. That's what got me interested in him and what I thought he could do for me. So it has been phenomenal for me. So Ruan, brother, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And absolutely, thank you for jumping in here. So, websites are a huge part of it. Most of y'all know my story. I got tired of getting ripped off by marketing companies. I call them OPM marketing, and it stands for other people's money because that's what they were all after. And I got to tell you, not only is Ruan good, his prices, man, they make sense. And he's like, look, here's what we can do. Here's how we do it. Here's how we keep score. Here's how we watch it. Here's your baseline. Here are the KPIs, the numbers we need to look at. And I was really impressed about the way everything was from the very beginning. And I got to tell you, I think it's been a good thing. I don't have a name, man. Me either sometimes. Or I say I don't, but I do because people call me names all the time. Just read my comments. How many jobs do plumbers do per day on average? And that's really a good question. And I like it because, different companies are different. Our plumbers probably do 3 to 4 calls a day. There's a big company around here, and actually Ruan just moved us ahead of them on Dallas TX Plumbing. So go to Google, put in Dallas TX Plumbing, and when Texas Green Plumbing comes up, click on that and go over and check it out. But the company he moved us up past, one of their sayings for their guys every morning is make your first job your last job. Meaning when you get into the house, look, inspect people's plumbing, tell them what all's wrong, and see if you can sell them those repairs. And guys, it's not a bad thing, because if you go into someone's house to fix their garbage disposal and their water heater's 20 years old and you don't point that out to them or offer to replace it, their kitchen or their toilet in the master bath is running, you don't offer to fix it, are you really doing them a good service by not taking care of the problems that they have? So different ways to look at that. Our guys probably run 3 to 4, and I think that's really a good number. So I don't have a name. I appreciate it. It varies too. I've got a friend that owns a plumbing company here in Garland, the town that I grew up in, and his guys probably average 5 or 6, but he has a very tighter service area, and he has I love that. He has a tighter area. His guys only spend about 10 minutes getting to each other's jobs, where my guys probably spend closer to an hour. So Ruan says, I'll donate $500 if Roger gets 100 reviews on his Google Maps listing during this live. So, guys, if and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll turn around and do a giveaway or something. So if I get 100 reviews on Google Maps, they got to be 5-star reviews, just going to tell you. On Google Maps during the live, Ruan will donate $500. And what will we give away, Will? Come up with something good.
I have no idea, but I do want to apologize to Ruan that my bot put you in timeout. It doesn't like all caps, but sorry.
Ruan, we'll fix that, brother. I promise. That's pretty funny. So, and I don't even know how long timeouts are. So it won't be long, but it's enough time to get 100 reviews on Google Maps. I got to tell y'all, and it's really pretty cool because what we've done with this website is different than anything I've ever done. And I'm going to talk about websites for just a minute because I think it's so big for everybody. Good to see Paul Peck in here. The neat thing is I'd really got frustrated with websites. I had a friend do it for me, so at least I knew it was done right. I knew that there was nothing illegal, nothing quirky, nothing at all like that. And look, I'd hired those people too, and they literally made the phone stop ringing. So to see what Ruan was doing with really big plumbing companies across the country, not just plumbing, but the work that he was doing across the country. But he does have other plumbers. And I got to tell you, when I saw what he was doing, I was very impressed. And I reached out to him, said, man, I want to talk to you. And look, it's a neat thing because, I mean, I really respect what he's doing in social media and on websites and SEO. And, man, he's legit, and I love that. Paul Peck Drywall says, Roger is rocking and rolling. Paul, man, I never saw this coming. I feel like I got hit by a bus, but it was like the bus on the way to heaven or something. It has been crazy. About 70,000 subs in 10 days. Not a bad deal. And I say about 70, it's a little under that, 68, 65,000. But in 10 days, that's just been phenomenal. So, man, it's just been wild. But it's not just that, the views. We put a video up last Friday. If y'all hadn't seen it, you need to go check it out. Actually really good. I believe it hit 500,000 views. And, man, it has been crazy. But, Paul, great seeing you in here, brother. And look, I get to see Paul 2 or 3 times a week. We still get up and study with the same people on Saturday mornings, so we both study social media. Great people out there, and we're definitely learning a lot of things. But, Brother Paul, good to see you in here. And hats off to the moderators. Paul is one of my moderators, as well as Julie, Grayson, Amber, and Will, and the amazing Urban Explorer. And didn't we make Big John one too at one point? I think we did too. Look here, we got Chris in here. Thank you, Brother Chris. Super chat from Construction Cronies. Roger, congrats. I'm at work, can't stay, but want you to know how stoked we are for me. Man, I love that. And those of y'all that have just jumped in here, man, we have had a crazy 10 days. Our views, our sponsors, everything, our sponsors, our views and our subscribers have just gone crazy. And man, I've asked every YouTuber I know, hey, what happened? How did this happen? This, that, and whatnot. I've had a lot of them reach out to me and say, dude, what are you doing? So it's been pretty wild. But Chris, I definitely appreciate that, brother. Wish you could stay, but man, you got to work up there in the Great White North. So I get it. Good to see you in here, though. Thanks for coming in. We started doing social media because we got tired of getting ripped off by marketing companies. But it's funny because now that I'm in social media, I have figured out there are some great marketing companies out there. Ruan is definitely one of them. And look, he said, go give me 100 5-star reviews on Google Maps. Go check out Develomark, Develomark. Their work is phenomenal. And I can't tell y'all how happy I am and how satisfied I am. Not just the product, but this has been up for a week and our phones are already blowing up. And I can't complain about that at all. Jonah Gerald, how are you? Do you think it's a bad idea that I drop out and get my GED to become a plumber at 16? By the way, my parents are okay with it, and I just want to know what you think. Jonah, here's the deal. Here's where I'm going to say I think it's a bad idea. And I'm basing this on me, not you. At 16, I screwed up everything I touched, meaning I was not a great high school student, so I became not a great employee at that time. I would be late to work. I would miss early or leave early. I would find ways to goof off. In the beginning it was tough because I wasn't mature enough to understand. Because my thought of it, and Jonah, here's the thing I hope you take away is, look, plumbing is a profession. It's a career. It's not just a job. It's not one you want to get in and start burning bridges. And Jonah, you may be the most responsible person there is. And if you are, that's really up to you. But man, I would say this, you're still young. Enjoy your life. Go to school, enjoy it. I talk about the UPC study guide. There's a lot of things you can do to start learning and getting ahead. Man, you're already here. So jumping in, watching my videos. If you've taken the mini course, hopefully you know what kind of plumber you want to be. There's a lot of opportunity you have. And man, it's a personal decision. Texas right now just started letting people take the test without their GED or high school diploma. And I've always been against that being a rule, meaning Texas used to require you had to have your GED or diploma. And I was always against that. But my reasoning was, I know people that are 50 years old that couldn't go take the test because they didn't have their GED. And the GED is kind of difficult. I've talked to people that have had problems with it. So my thought was always, look, people deserve to make a living. And my thought was always let them do that. But I was actually at a state board meeting in Austin one day, and they were talking about that. And afterwards, one of the gentlemen from Local 68 down in Houston came up and talked to me, and he says, Roger, look, here's my thought. He said, what I don't want to see is I don't want to see people quit high school, not get a GED, get into plumbing, and realize they hate it. But they've done it for a year or so, maybe 2 years. Now it's too late for them to go back to high school. They don't have a high school diploma. They don't have a GED, and now they can't get any kind of really good job. So, Jonah, man, I know that's a really long-winded answer. I hope that you put a lot of thought into it and do what you think is going to be best for you. It's a tough one for me to answer for anybody because I probably look at it a different way. So, Mr. Joseph Horton, a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Feel like I've learned more from you than the master I was with for a year. Well, you know what, Joseph, look, I've had a lot more time to put these videos up, and I literally think every time I put up a video, it is to teach somebody something. And that really is a big deal to me because, and I learned this from, I don't know if it was Nick or Dean Nemeth that talked about it, but they said, look, if somebody's going to give you 15 minutes of their time, give them value for that. And, Joseph, I appreciate that. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel because I literally want to help people. And I think that the trades could be an opportunity. Look at Jonah a while ago. Jonah's like, look, I don't want to go to college. I want to get into plumbing. And my thought process about this is, look, there's a lot of trades jobs opened. And I'm going to say that again. If y'all have not seen it yet, we've got a new YouTube channel, The Trade Talks. We've got a magazine. Go to www.thetradetalks.com. And I got to sit down and do an interview so we can start getting our YouTube video up too. But we're doing a podcast, a YouTube video, a magazine, because I want to teach people more about the trades, not just plumbing, but all the trades. So I tell you, I think it's neat that you've learned from me because I want to bring other people onto the scene. I want to bring other people around to help teach too. Meaning, look, I don't know everything and I don't know every way, but I think I'm really good and I think I'm really skilled at what I do. But my thought process is if I can bring other people in to talk about the trades and help teach people about why they got in the trades or how they've done really well in the trades, I think it can be a really good deal. And that's just my way of trying to help other people. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. It's funny because college used to be the only way to go. Even when I was a student, when I was in high school, everybody's talking like, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be anything. And it got worse even later. But I got to tell you, we've got so many people going to college now that they can't fill or there's not enough positions for them to get out and get jobs in the field that they went to college for. So my thing is, look, we need tradespeople. We need them bad. And a great thing to do would be get out and get into the trades, learn it well. Then if you want to go to some kind of business school to learn to run a business, you can actually open your own company one day and do even better than me. And don't get me wrong, that's not hard to do. But when I started my company, I knew nothing. I had to learn about accounting, about bookkeeping, about accounts payable, accounts receivable, about the Secretary of State and taxes and how to do this and how to do that. So it really has been a big, big deal. Dan McDonald says, hey, Roger, what was the biggest mistake you made as an apprentice and how did you overcome it? And Dan, it would probably be what I was talking about a while ago. It's making mistakes and being young, showing up late for work, leaving early, saying, look, man, I don't feel good, or, I'm sick or whatever. And it's funny because later in my career, when I was in the union, I used to have like acid reflux or something. And I mean, come morning break, I could go to the trash can and just start hurling and getting rid of all kinds of junk in my stomach and whatnot. And people would be like, dude, you need to go home. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, you're sick. Like, well, number one, I'm not sick. I'm just throwing up. And they're like, well, okay, go home. It's like, look, I can throw up at home or throw up here. At least here I get paid for it. Mistakes, just a flat out honest, stupid plumbing mistake. I remember the first time they told me to go run a TMP line. It was apartments, and they had a water heater in them, or condos, I guess. And they had a common wall, but it was two 4x4 or two 2x4 walls. There wasn't quite enough room to run a line down the middle. So, I mean, I was literally like snaking it through there and going up and around. And I mean, man, it looked beautiful. It looked like art. But, of course, it wasn't level. It wouldn't drain. It wasn't right. But nobody ever told me that. So I just thought, okay, get it from here to here. Man, I can make this last all day and look good too. So it was kind of wild, but I had to learn a lot. So Dan, I appreciate that. You getting in and ask that, because I like to look back at the things that I've done, and I realized, look, man, I did make some pretty good mistakes. Luckily, they weren't super expensive. I think one of the other big mistakes I made is I dropped my journeyman's tape measure down like an 8-inch drain line, and we had to go down like 4 floors, take the drain apart, figure out where the tape was, and get it out. So pretty funny. So Zectus, I made it go away. Sorry about that. How do plumbers get paid? Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. But plumbers get paid mainly hourly, meaning all the plumbers that I have, there you go. Thank you, Will. How do plumbers get paid? Do they get paid per job and salary? There's different ways. There is commission only, which means you go out and run calls and you make 10%, 15%, maybe 20% of all the work. Meaning if you run $2,000 a day and you're making 15%, you make $300 a day. Now, is that based on revenue, or is that based on profit, or is that based on the amount after you remove materials? Different companies do different things, but that's one way. The other one is straight hourly, meaning, you make $25 an hour for every hour you work. There's no incentive there, so it's kind of hard to motivate people and push them. That's kind of difficult sometimes. But a really good way, one that we're looking at, because we're looking at changing our system completely, is doing an hourly plus percentage, or an hourly plus a commission bonus. So we've got different things that we're looking at, but Zectus, that's a really good question. Now, I will tell you this, most commercial plumbers, meaning if they're on a new commercial job, a high-rise, condos, apartments, anything like that, most of those guys are all hourly, meaning they've got a job where they've negotiated what they get paid an hour. It may be $20, it may be $40 an hour, depending on how good they are. So that has a lot to do with it.
And thank Zectus for the super chat. I sent one, and then that question was right after. So that was technically a super chat.
Zectus, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Got another super chat here from Adnan Faroki, $50 super chat.
Faruqi,
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, man, love your channel. 19 and about to start learning plumbing at my trade school. Adnan, congratulations. I'm smiling. I'm excited about that. That's cool. How physically fit must I be, and am I too young? Thanks. Well, I don't know how 19. No, you're not. I will tell you this. And guys, anybody in here that wants to get better at the trade, go listen to and watch the YouTube videos that we do where we talk about how to get better. Always learning, always trying to be the best person in your class. And that may mean out studying them. It may be working smarter. Sometimes it may be working harder. But I'll tell you this, you need to be in shape. don't get me wrong. I mean, you can look at me. I'm overweight. I can get up every morning, get on the treadmill and walk for 4 miles. I don't do it every morning because for some reason, as I get older, my hip and my ankle give me a pain. But you need to be in shape. You need to be able to help get a water heater up in an attic. Worse than that, you need to be able to take the old one up there and help get it down out of the attic. And, we use ropes, we use cinch straps, we use just straps, we use all kinds of different things. But at the end of the day, man, you need to be in decent shape. You're going to climb up in attics. You're going to climb under houses. There's not a lot of running or anything like that involved, but heavy lifting sometimes. And I say that, but remember, I know women that are in the trades that do a fantastic job, and I've never heard any of them complain about it. So, and look, that's not a downplay on women, so please don't get me wrong. 3 of the top women plumbers I know are in the state of Texas, and everywhere from executive director to the Texas State Board to a plumbing inspector to an engineer, and teaches continuing education. So I know some really good plumbers in the state of Texas that, man, they're female, so don't take that wrong. But here's the cool thing I'll tell you. I really think anybody can do it. And I don't mean male or female. I just mean if you want to do it bad enough, you're going to find a way to get through every day. And look, I've had days where I went home exhausted, but I got through the day. Everything was wonderful, and we had fun. So I think that's pretty cool. And the neat thing about it, look, I'm still here today. So thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. Please stay in touch and let me know how school's going. And I love that because I love finding out what's happening and how it's going. Neil, the Urban Explorer, is in the house. Congratulations to the whole team on an amazing week. Neil, thank you so much, brother. It has been phenomenal. And I want you to know something really cool. It was Monday or Saturday morning, and we had God, man, things have been really good this week. We hit 100,000 subs on Friday. We had 59,000 the week before. But Saturday morning, I get up, I jump in a live stream for Nick Nemeth, and Neil actually calls the company, saw the number here, called the company, and, Julie answers the phone, and he says, hey, may I speak to Roger? Well, I was busy, and she's like, well, Roger's not available right now. He's out. Says, well, this is Neil. You may know me. I'm the Urban Explorer. I wanted to call and congratulate him on YouTube. And Julie starts hollering at me, hey, you need to get this. So it was really, really good. Great hearing from him. Great getting a phone call from the United Kingdom to say, hey, congratulations on something you've done. So Neil, brother, I appreciate it. Man, we were trying to move the start time up to 3:00. We had some technical difficulties here today. Like the camera was down the road. But that was my bad for not really looking at the schedule and seeing what all we had going on. But we're going to try to start jumping in here at 3:00 Central Standard Time and stay until 5:30. It's kind of worked out good last week. Neil, and you made a comment about it, so it's like, why not do it? We're still at 124,000. We were thinking we might hit 125 by the end of the live stream today. If we do, that'll be fantastic. But Neil, brother, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And, I talk about numbers, but guys, that's not what it's all about. It's the things that we're talking about here. People saying, look, I learn a lot from you. Man, I believe the trades are a way for anybody to learn their way up. Paul, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. $10 super chat from Paul Peck, Drywall Tube. Love watching your growth, brother. So well deserved. Paul, thank you. And yours as well. God, watching you cross 100,000, man, it was so cool because it's like, man, I've watched him grow and do this. And it's funny because I reached out to one of my YouTube coaches earlier, and I'm like, look, how did we do this? How did we go from 59,000 to 125? Because we're that close. And he's like, man, look, he says, I've only heard of this once or twice. And, it's wild. But I will tell you this, and one thing that, everybody's pointed out is look, number one, you've got a great team around you. You've got great people. Y'all are doing great things. You're consistent, and we do try. One thing we do too is we reach out to people and say, hey man, what do y'all want to see? Send me some pictures of crazy plumbing you've seen or crazy video you've seen or anything like that. And man, we're going to do something with it. Just please make sure it's yours. That way we're not stealing somebody else's stuff and get in trouble for it. So Marty Griff, another super chat. Thank you so much. Found your channel just on Sunday while searching for something to watch. You're great. Not a plumber, great entertainment. You know, Marty, look, I appreciate that because I tell you what, YouTube started recommending my videos this weekend and put them out in front of a lot of people and more than one video. The main one was the 5-minute hack, but there were other videos because another one of my YouTube coaches sent me a message and says, hey, you're coming up recommended in my wife's YouTube. And I promise you, she's never searched plumbing. So it was really funny. But, you know, Marty, I love that because, you know, to me, and you can ask Will, you can ask Grayson, we try to be entertaining. We try to be fun. We try to be exciting, be different. If I just sat here and read the plumbing code book to you, we could all fall asleep. And we think that what we're doing, I mean, look, man, I got people that jump in and say, look, I learn a lot from you. And to me, that's really what we're trying to do. One thing Julie and I teach about and talk about is, look, you can learn your way up out of any situation you're in. And if you say, look, I'm in a bad spot, I don't have a good job, I don't have this, learn your way up. You can either learn your way up to a new level at the company you're at to where you can make more money there, or you can learn a whole new career, profession, anything at all. But none of us are stuck where we're at. None of us. And if you want to learn your way up, all you got to do is do it. So thank you. I appreciate that. We've enjoyed making the videos that we make, and we've changed things up a little bit along the way, but you know, we still try to stick to the basics and say, look, everything we do, we're talking about plumbing. And I think that that's really helped us a lot. So we've got Retro Thunder. I love that name. I live in rural Australia, and there is no local plumber. Everyone says that if someone started a plumbing business, it would be a good investment. I'm kind of interested. Should I do a plumbing course? I would say yeah. And look, I'm not sure what the code is over there in Australia. I will say this. Is it Best Worst Pictures, a Facebook group? I've got friends over there, Fraser with Tiger Shark. They make an inside pipe drill bit. I'd contact them and say, hey, what do you know about if I wanted to do my own company? You've got the Australia Master Plumbers Guild or something. I believe they started Green Plumbers, which I was a member of over here in the United States for a long time. So some kind of a plumbing course now. And look, I don't know what y'all have got over there, but I would be like, look, if there's an opportunity like that, I mean, man, that'd be like walking into Dallas and say, hey, there's no gun stores here. Somebody can open a gun store and make great money. Absolutely. Would it be worth it? Man, if you can do it and get good at it and there's no competition, anytime you can do something and there's no competition, man, you've got it made, because you can pretty much, and I want to say set your own price, but set a fair price that you'll make profit on. And I say that because I have so many people reach out to me and say, look, I started a company and I'm undercutting everybody else's pricing. It's like, man, you're just going out of business. So make sure you look at what it costs you to do work, set your prices accordingly, but always be fair with people. What's the hardest plumbing problem I've had to fix? You know, I don't know that any of them are hard. I know that's funny. The most time consuming, I guess, was I've had people that have hot water circulation problems, and you know, they have other people come in and work on their houses. They've done remodels. They've done this. They've done that. And the thing is, man, you can't see on walls. On a slab house, you can't see under the slab. I get that. But this was a pier and beam house. We could climb under here and look at things, but you don't know what the lines do when they go up in the walls, or worse, when they go upstairs, because they're either in the walls or in the ceiling in between. Fixing hot water problems on a circuit system on something like that, that can be, man, it can be a challenge, especially when I've got 4 water heaters throughout the house. It really does kind of make it tough and fun to deal with, but it's a lot of fun. You know, it's the tough problems that keep it interesting. If it was really easy to do every day and the same thing every day, we would really get bored with it. So I got Dylan Bia. How are you? Hey, Roger, this is your first time here. Welcome. I am glad you're here. I saw that you said you're an old school plumber. What are your thoughts on new plastics plumbing in the new build homes instead of copper piping? I'll tell you what, when I say I'm old school plumber, I believe in old school as in, you know, you always do things right. You always do things plumb, true, and square. I don't mind the new pipe, and you say instead of copper piping, so I'm assuming you're just talking the water supply lines. I've done videos on PEX. I've done videos on Uponor. I love both of them. I don't like some of the new push-together fittings. I think that there's problems with them, and I say that because we go back and fix a lot of leaks on them. So that's a problem I have. That is water, and I see problems. But now I'll tell you this. You know, I almost hate saying it. Charlotte has a new push-together fitting, and I want to try it. It's for a drain pipe. They say that, look, that this will not leak. You won't have any problems. I'm wanting to try it. I want to see it. I want to see how it's built. I want to test it. I want to play with it. Man, I'm one of these people, I want to see if I can tear it up. I want to see if I can make it work. I want to see if I can make it leak. People tell me that, you know, look, all wipes, every single one of them are not flushable. And I got to tell you, when Cottonelle reached out to me and asked me to do a test because they wanted me to do a satellite media tour, at first I was like, man, I don't do flushable wipes. But they said, look, ours are biodegradable. They will disappear. And I got to tell you, I saw a review that was already done by a water treatment facility. I went and bought some because they're like, we'll send you some. I'm like, no, I'll go buy my own. I want to make sure I'm getting off the shelf what everybody else is getting. And dropped some in some plastic cups. And at home, I laid them in some cookie sheets. That way they were in completely different environments. Literally the next day, you could pick up, because I took a regular baby wipe and the Cottonelle flushable wipes. The regular baby wipe, tried pulling apart. It would not pull apart. The Cottonelle flushable wipe, literally you could pick it up. It was like picking up toilet tissue that was wet. It just fell apart. Well, once I did more research, found out there's plastic fibers in there. So when I say I'm an old school, look, I believe I'm a hard worker. I have good work ethic, and I want things done right every single time. Does that mean I'm not up for new things? Oh, no. I think that new technology and things like that they're going to help us all get better by becoming faster and making more money. I think there's a lot of good things out there. I just don't think some of those push together fittings are the right things. And that's just my thought. So I've got Ednan again, $20. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Hey, man, how do you deal with people looking down at you for being a plumber? I love this question. I remember 2 years ago being in high school and people made fun of me because I was the only one going in for a trade and not college. And man, I love this. And here's what I'm going to tell you is, look, I went through that. I remember being in Austin. I just moved down there, and I would go out to country bars and things like that. And, you know, you see a girl, you dance with her, have fun. She's like, so what do you do? It's like, I'm a plumber. And it's like, oh. And I mean, like that nose went up and they turn around and walk away. And it literally got to the point where I started telling people I'm in construction. Like that is so much better. And I would tell people, you know, I'm in construction. I do this, and never really just say, hey, look, I'm a plumber. But I got to tell you, it got to where, you know what? It doesn't bother me what you think. And that's the one that you got to get over. People have no idea. You may end up being a multi-millionaire one day from owning your own company. And all these people that went to college, they're going to have a job. And I got to tell you, it does not bother me at all anymore. And it hadn't for years, literally since probably 1990. I've really been like, you know what? I don't even care what y'all think. And I know that's 30 years, but it's probably been that long since I've really even cared. Plumbing is a great profession. It is honorable. It's noble. If you do the job right, you have a lot of integrity. You can be an extremely professional person. And I just got to tell you, I love it. I love that question now because I love it when people look at me. And don't get me wrong, when I'm out speaking, and I've spoken at some of the biggest video marketing conferences that there are, some of the biggest social media conferences. And I always start out and say, guys, look, I'm a plumber. And everybody laughs. It's like, no, seriously, I was unstopping toilets yesterday. I will be unstopping them again tomorrow. At the end of the day, I'm a plumber. That's what I do. But I've learned how to do social media. And I'm proud of it. One thing that I enjoy about it, I think it makes people underestimate me. Oh, he's just a plumber. And that's why, and I say that a lot. Hey, guys, look, I'm just a plumber. Automatically, people underestimate me. At that point, I've already won. They don't even know it. And I don't mean that cocky or anything, but you're right. People do look down upon us because we're in the trades. The thing is, it really doesn't bother me because I see it from a completely different way. I'm out working hard for me. And even when I was in a union working for other companies, I always took pride in that. Look, I worked for some good companies. I worked hard to make them good money and always do the right thing on every job that I was on. So, man, I love that. Thank you for, number one, thank you for the super chat. But number two, thanks for the question. That's a good one. And I enjoy getting that one. And I hear it a lot. So thank you very much. And those of y'all that are thinking about getting into the trade, but you think, I don't want to be classified as a plumber. You know what? Don't let that bother you because that is other people's biases about what they think about people in the world. And it's crazy to me that we even let that bother us. It's crazy to me that I let it bother me because I've always had a very, very high self-esteem. But, man, when it was so bad that I would just tell people, look, I'm in construction because I didn't want them to know I was a plumber. Now it's like, you know what, dude? I am a plumber. Matter of fact, I got it on my shirt. I am a plumber. And if you don't like it, you know what you can do. $20 super chat from Timothy Garner. How are you, sir? Oh, Timothy Gamer. Garner or Gamer, Will? Garner. I want y'all to know I've got my glasses here, but I had eye surgery done in this eye last week. I was supposed to have this one done tomorrow, but this one here is still a little blurry. So I told him I'm going to wait till it's all good, and we're going to go from there. But Timothy Garner, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, I'm Tim. It's my first time here. Not a plumber, but I would like to know if I could be one. My only setback is I'm recently a below-the-knee amputee. Would that keep me from becoming a plumber? Tim, I would say not at all. And here's why. I mean, most of the things we do, we work a construction site. And if you can get yourself around a construction site, I don't see a problem with it. Do you have a prosthetic? Do you have anything like that? Or do you walk with a crutch? How do you get around? And you may not have it yet. And that may be the plan. I'm not sure. But I mean, my thought is, if you're a residential plumber, you're going to go to people's houses. You're going to knock on the door. You're going to walk in. I don't see that you couldn't still lift a toilet if you've got a prosthetic or something. I've known a one-armed plumber. I've even known a one-legged plumber. Julie, my wife, has a great friend in South Texas that had one leg, and he was an HVAC technician. So I don't think that any of that is going to bother your profession, your trade. If you think you can do it, and you've got to think about what a plumber may do. We may lift a water heater up in the attic. We may walk around in an attic. and this is residential service. If you're residential construction, you may walk around on rafters. Do you have limitations that you think would keep you from doing it? And that might be the best way from looking at it. Me personally, man, I've seen it, so I know it can be done. You've got to look at it and see what you think. So, Timothy, number one, man, you can do this if you want to, but that's entirely up to you. Don't let me or anybody else tell you, no, you can't, because I'm telling you, if you really want to, you can. So, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Another super chat from Half Breed Fro. I like that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thoughts on plumber and food mitigation relations? Man. Okay, plumbing and food mitigation do not go good together. Plumbers and flood mitigation relations. I tell you what, okay, your vids really help us understand what our network of plumbers go through. We appreciate you, Raj. Thank you so much. Here's what I'm going to tell you is some of my best customers are water mitigation companies. And some of my best relationships have been with them because if they've got water mitigation problems, they need a plumber they can trust. And a good plumber that walks into a house that's flooded needs somebody to help him take care of his customers. So both things are completely together. I mean, that is a symbiotic relationship that, man, it's phenomenal. So I think they're great. I would work on them as much as you could. It's really funny because I don't know that really I've got anybody that I've got one person that I really recommend a lot, but I don't know that I've got a water mitigation company that we're just doing a whole lot of stuff with. And that's a shame because they really are. They're great people, most of them. Don't get me wrong, you get some every now and then that maybe not. But at the end of the day, man, they're great people to build relationships. Anytime you can build relationships with people in another trade or company that can help you is phenomenal. So, Half Breed Fro, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, guys, building relationships, not just with water mitigation companies, but maybe real estate agents, people like that. There's so home inspectors. There's so many people out there. Man, it can be great for you. Grimes Fines, how are you? New subscriber from Plano. Those of y'all that don't know, Plano, Texas is just right down the road from here. Actually, right up the road. Grimes, sorry about that. Just a little bit north, kind of northwest of where we're at. Never thought I'd enjoy plumbing videos. You know what? And I love that because here lately there have been so many messages about, man, your video came up in my recommended. I have no idea why, but worse than that, I have no idea why I've been watching them all weekend long. So I think that's pretty cool. So Grimes Fines, I hope that you enjoyed it, or hope you enjoyed watching them. It's crazy because I have people reach out to me all the time and say, look, I'm not a plumber or anything, but for some reason I really like watching your videos. And all I can say is I hope that you learned something. I hope you don't need a plumber, but, you know, if something comes along and you need to know how to fix it, at least now, I hope that you know where you can find out how to do it.
And Grimes has a YouTube channel of his own with about 70,000 subscribers.
Whoa.
Yeah, they go find stuff in storage units, I believe.
You know what? I think that would be cool. You know, Grimes, you ever come across plumbing stuff, reach out to me. I'll definitely find a way to help you out with it. I think that's pretty cool. That is a neat, you know, it's very entertaining. And I used to get up and watch those. What were they? Storage Wars, Will?
Yeah, I remember those shows.
You know, I used to watch those. I used to watch the ones where the guys would go buy the cars and they'd have, you know, 5 or 6 days to fix it up and turn around and sell it. So all kinds of cool stuff there. So Grimes Fines, I will definitely check it out. Will says channel looks good. So guys, go check out Grimes Fines and see what y'all think. So Grimes, tell me this while you're still in here. What's the coolest thing you've ever come across in a storage unit? So, you know, and that's the neat thing about YouTube, guys. There's so many things on here. So much great information. We're going to start making videos teaching people about, you plumbing, the things that we do every day, how to grow a business, how to train our people, how to do a lot of things that we do. And this wall right here, we've got sponsorship opportunities coming or on the way. We've actually got things in our background I can barely see because of where I'm standing. And different cameras I can see them. But look, sponsorship's a big deal. And, I talked to y'all a lot back before I ever did it about we're thinking about bringing in sponsors. What do y'all think? We're to the point that we are, and it's really a neat deal. And, man, we're looking forward to these relations. So looking forward to it. $10 super chat from Mark Powell. How are you, sir? Thank you. If a sink was connected to a wall using nothing but plastic piping and standard tubing, nothing else, would you fasten it better? And if so, how does it not leak but could cause problems if broken? Now, connected to the wall, if you mean the P-trap at the bottom is literally holding it and supporting it there, yeah, I would connect it another way. What I would look at is a lot of these sinks, Mark, literally, if you'll disconnect everything, you can pick up on them. There's a flange that mounts to the wall, and I mean, normally it's screwed into like blocking or backing to where there's lag bolts holding this on. So when that sink sets up on that lip, the lower edges of the sink are what kind of counter it, but that's what holds it. Normally that P-trap, that P-trap's not heavy enough to hold anything. So is there a better way? Man, you can get different supports. You can actually open up the wall and put in lavatory carriers, which are steel posts that mount in the wall. They have steel posts that come out. And this is not with every lavatory, just certain brands. But then the lavatory slides on these bars, and you loosen these nuts, and this little rubber comes out. And I say rubber, it's really like a bracket. And I guess you tighten it up, and it slides down. So what it does is it pushes down on it. The top of the lavatory is sitting on the arm sticking out. The bottom has those rubbers that come out and push down. So, I mean, that thing will get secure and hold it. And, man, they will not move. Doesn't leak, but could cause problems if broken. Yeah, if there's just a piece of plastic holding it there and it does break, yeah, it's definitely going to cause problems. Matter of fact, that they won't be good because you're going to have porcelain or glass or stuff like that around everywhere. Those chair carriers and stuff like that, or I say chair carriers, the lavatory carriers and things like that, it's a pretty big deal. Commercial jobs, that's almost always spec'd because they don't want just that little wall mount bracket that if somebody sits on it hard enough, it could pull that out or pull that off and cause a problem. Subwoofer Protogen, how are you doing? Good to have you in here. Thank you for the super chat. The bathroom sink drain in our basement is held up by rope. My dad's repairs are amazing. Okay, I got to tell you, number one, do me a favor. Send me a picture of that. And it's not to throw your dad under the bus. I just want to see it. Anytime y'all got pictures of crazy plumbing, whether it's crazy plumbing videos or crazy plumbing pictures, hopefully jobs y'all have ran across, please don't send me pictures of stuff that other people have posted other places and things like that. But if you've got pictures of stuff like this, look, all of us had a dad that did amazing plumbing jobs. At least they thought it was amazing. I talk to Julie all the time about her dad doing, and she says, look, my dad's allowed to do anything in the house but plumbing. And look, greatest guy on earth, he does not need to be doing plumbing, I promise. So, Subwoofer Protogen, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And please do send me the pictures. Anytime you got plumbing held up by rope, I really probably want to see it. It's kind of funny. Will, how's everybody doing? How many people we got in here now?
We have 247. We had a 270 at one point.
Fantastic. Well, guys, and here's the deal. I hope y'all are enjoying this. And we love talking about plumbing. If you're wanting to get into the trades, if you're in the trades, maybe you're in the trades and you want to open your own business. Plumbing is such a great career, a great profession. But it's not just plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing. If y'all have not done it yet, jump over to www.thetradetalks, sign up for the magazine. Will you bring a magazine in here in a minute so I can show it to them? I had one in here. Man, I'm going to say I probably threw it out because I know I didn't clean up in here. But, the cool thing about it is we're trying to help people that are in the trades. First of all, we're trying to help people get in the trades. Then we're trying to help people that are in the trades and want to get better. And then people that are in the trades that want to open their own company, and even trades company owners that want to learn social media to get better. So I've got some great people writing articles for me. Everything from Will wrote one about social media. I wrote about what started all this, why we're doing what we do. But go over to thetradetalks.com, click on the magazine, sign up, check it out. There's an online version there. And we're going to be trying to put that out about every quarter. So here's another cool thing is if you know anybody that would be great at writing an article or something like that, maybe you know the most amazing electrician in the world. I almost said plumber, but, and I know that's not me, so I'm joking. But maybe you know a great electrician that, came from nothing to owning his own company and is now doing great things. And I'd be interested in hearing about it. But anyway, and look what shirt I got on today. Anyway, that's what it is. And I'm going to go to that camera. Actually looks a little bit better. So that's it right there. Yeah. Looky there. Love this autofocus stuff. And man, this is actually a straight up legit magazine. And I think we did really good. Did y'all see that picture? Let me show you, because a lot of y'all don't always get to see this. Oh, you went back. Okay. That, if y'all don't know, is Will Rosebrock. That is my content creator, my first editor, my videographer, the everything in the world. He is literally the digital overlord. So, man, how do you pronounce this one, Will? Dead MBAN2YT.
As good as I would have done.
But we're on the same page, aren't we? I like that. What is the most disgusting, disturbing thing you have found? Okay, and if y'all got a weak stomach, you may want to turn the volume down, look the other way. I mean, I'm not going to pull anything out, but just so you can't read my lips or anything. I have ran a sewer machine in through a lavatory sink arm. I've pulled out dead birds and dead squirrels. And that, oh man, after they've been in there a little while like that, they get ripe. Man, it didn't smell good. It was funky, but I got it out. So that is the most disgusting thing I've ever found. Now, women's products, stuff like that, it is what it is. They're down there. They're down there all the time. So, that's not anything you really hope to find. But what's funny or what's sad, I'm going to say sad, not funny. What's sad is when you run your cable machine down and you come back, and I mean, man, it's like a Christmas tree with ornaments on it. There's 20 or 30 of them spinning around, and you got to look at the dad or the mom and say, hey, do y'all have daughters? And they're like, yes, we do. It's like, look, tell them to quit doing this. So those are probably the most disgusting, the animals. Look, feminine products don't bother me at all. It is what it is. The thing is, I hate people having to spend that kind of money because their daughters or somebody is flushing stuff down. And maybe it's their son's girlfriend. That'd be even worse. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. That's why we get paid what we get paid. Roger, my plumber has suggested to change the boiler when I get it serviced because he said it's ineffective. It works fine. Shall I change it? I know it's old. Zane Shaw, and this is a great question because in our price book, we've got a little questionnaire. And it starts with like, number one, how old is it? Number two, how long do you plan on being there? Do you ever run out of hot water? Do you ever plan on needing more hot water? Meaning, if you have 3 babies right now, 10 years from now, you got 3 kids fixing to be teenagers or that are teenagers. You're going to be needing more water then. Do you plan on selling the house or staying? Do you run out of hot water now? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself. But the biggest one is, how much is the repair today? And if it's costing you $600 for and I'm going to call it a water heater because I don't know if you've actually got a boiler or a water heater. If you're spending $600 today to repair a water heater that is 8 to 10 years old, I would tell you, look, that is part of the price for the new one. And say a new one is $2,000, and I'm just pulling a round number out. You've got $600 repair, and then you got $2,000. So really, I mean, you could make this repair, and it will last you a little while, or you spend that $2,000. Well, it's almost like you're saving the $600. So it's really like, hey, for $1,400 more dollars, I can get a brand new water heater. So that's kind of the way I look at it, but it's because I understand both sides of it. So I appreciate the question. I think that's a good one. And I normally tell people that, look, if a water heater is not leaking, it can be repaired. It doesn't mean it's the right thing to do because it may end up costing you more in the long run, meaning you may pay $600 to fix that water heater, but if you've got to replace it in 2 months, was it worth $300 a month just to push that $2,000 off that long? And different ways to look at it and think about it. But those are all the things that go through my mind when I'm explaining it to someone because I want them to understand both sides of it. Random question. What do you think about products that supposedly stop a leak? I'm really curious about it. Well, a plumber is a product that stops a leak. I'm joking. I know that's a service. Okay, Calabasas, the Ataku Cyan. And I think Will made that name up for you just so I'd have a hard time pronouncing it.
I couldn't do it either. So.
Are you in Calabasas? I just asked because, man, I love going out there. Actually, if those of y'all that don't know, we gave away a great leak detection set from Leaktronics. And if you want to learn anything about leak detection, go check out Leaktronics. It's really a cool place. Great website. Matter of fact, go check out his website and say, hey, I heard about you from Roger. He said your stuff's good. And if you're a plumber and you want to learn about it, good stuff to do. Back to the products that stop a leak. Number one, I think the only thing that really stops a leak is repairing it. I've seen the things that are the clamps that you put on it. You've got the bolts to tighten up, things like that. And look, I've even used them a long time ago for a temporary fix. I don't think that, any Flex Seal that you spray on is going to fix your water leak forever. Matter of fact, it may make it worse because you may not be able to clean all that up in order to just make a solder repair right there. I really don't think that there's anything that just fixes a leak like that. Now, I have seen a product probably about 15 years ago that was something that you had to drain the water out. Then you mixed up this stuff. You put it in with almost like a flux brush, and then you put UV light on it. Now, I know UV light will cure some products and make them as hard as metal or whatnot. Matter of fact, I used to take 1 quart mason jars, and then I would take some drawer pulls and I would grind them to where they'd fit right on the jar. I'd take UV glue, put on there, stick the UV light in there to cure it. And I mean, I'm telling you, you could take a 32-ounce mason jar with tea or something in it and pick it up, move it around, drink it. And I mean, I've got some of those that hadn't come off in, 10 years or so. So pretty interesting. But do I think that there's just a product that you can just spray on there and it's going to stop? Probably not. Is it possible they come up with something like that? Absolutely. But then my thing is, now your drinking water is up against that chemical all the time. And what if some of that chemical leaches into the water? It's going to end up in your system. And that's just not the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. But look, some people use it. Some people like it. And man, if it works and you're happy or your customer is happy or somebody like that, I really hope it works out well for you. Just not what I want to do. Jay Gibbs, how are you? Hey, Roger, I was wondering, what is the best way to fix a loose ball cock on a toilet? I love the videos. Keep up the good work. Jay, you're going to have to give me a little more information. Is the ball loose? Is the rod loose in the fill valve? Or is the whole ball cock loose at the toilet? If it's the ball and arm can both be changed out as long as the head of the ball cock is good. If If it's loose on the bottom, you're going to have a leak, or you should have a leak. But if it's, you got to check that brass rod and see are the threads still good on the top of the ball cock, or is the float loose and broken? You may be able to just tighten it up. And I've seen some before that would turn. It seemed like every time they flushed and the ball got loose or the rod got loose or something like that. So anyway, get in there and play with it. See if you can just tighten it up. If not, you may need to replace it. And you can get the parts online. Really easy. Love the videos. Keep up the good work. Jay, thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping in here and asking a question. How many of y'all are in the trades? How many of y'all are already in, hopefully plumbing, but how many of y'all are in plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, anything like that? I'm just curious. And Will, let me know if there's a lot of people or just a few. Or BHES 93, should a homeowner attempt a temporary water supply line during a driveway excavation? If you need water at home, I'd be willing to attempt anything. I have seen some plumbers dig up a valve box and the meter and lay a temporary water line in the yard. I think it's a great idea when the leak is that bad. If you've got time and you've got the materials right there and you can do it, it's a good thing. Should a homeowner attempt it? Look, if you've got the equipment to do PEX, do Uponor, something like that, and you've got the fittings and you can screw them on there and tie onto them, man, I see no problem at all. Look, guys, I started making videos to teach homeowners, look, there's a lot of things you can do. Now, temporary water line, you're getting into a little more sophisticated. You may want to call a plumber kind of thing, but is it possible that you do it? Absolutely. Should a homeowner attempt it? Here's what I'll tell you. As long as you can turn that water off at the meter, you can attempt anything, especially outside like that, and really not have to worry about it. If you put it together and it leaks, now you call a plumber and say, hey, I've already installed everything. Just fix my joints, fix my leaks, something like that. If you don't know how to solder and you need to, that could be a problem. But other than that, I don't see any problem at all. Try it. Worst that can happen is you get your front yard wet. Good question, though. I like that. Again, those of y'all that don't know, our channel just has really blown up this last 10 days. I want to say thank you all so much to all the new subscribers, all the people that have been watching videos. I want to say thanks to the people at YouTube for putting my videos out in front of people. And man, we went right past 125, Will. We're at, those of y'all that don't know, I was hoping to get to 125,000 subscribers. We just hit 125,200. And I guess Will turned off the notification on my clock back here.
No, it's up there.
Yeah, but remember it used to make a noise.
Oh, it used to make a cha-ching.
Yep, it used to make that cha-ching, and you wanted to turn it off because we were.
Yeah, it was messing up our videos.
I know it was, and I'm not disagreeing.
By the way, you got quite a few people here saying they're in HVAC, plumbing.
I love that. Oh man, I love that.
You got a realtor in here saying that they're learning. So
that is so cool.
A lot of people, some people saying they're studying trades. So you got a lot of people in here.
Man, that is neat because, and look, I'm a certified HVAC tech in Texas too. You can go to TDLR and look me up. Certified technician. I've just never done anything with it. And I'm really disappointed in myself over that because I wish I would have. I was doing plumbing for a plumbing company at the time. An opportunity came along to get the free training. So I went and did it, took the course, passed it. And I really wish that I'd have done more with it. But, of course, I didn't. I've been busy plumbing. So a $20 super chat from Aiden Martinez. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Aiden says, hey, Roger, you answered my question this morning about apprentice hours, transferring to another state. I remember that. Can you elaborate on keeping good records? Have you seen this happen before? Thank you. Yes, Aiden, here's what I'll tell you. And this is a really good one. And what Aiden asked about was, if he's in another state, I believe he said his wife was in the military. Number one, thank her for her service. But if you're in another state and you are becoming an apprentice or you're going through your apprentice training program, Document your hours. Now, if you're planning on coming to Texas, and then you probably don't know where you're headed yet, but what Texas has, and you can go to the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners website, just Google TSBPE, and it'll come up because it's like .tex.gov.org messed up or whatever it is. The thing is, though, they've got forms on there, and it's your hours verification form. And what it is if you're working for a company, and I think you said Seattle, Aiden, if you're working for a company in Seattle, see, Aiden, that lets you know I answer those questions, okay? Will may give you a thumbs up or a heart, but I jumped in and answered it. Here's the cool thing is, if you'll get that form filled out, say I'm working for Fred's Plumbing in Seattle, and I get ready to leave. Hey, Fred, look, my wife's being transferred. Will you sign this and fill this out stating that I worked 1,000 hours for you? Cool thing about that is in Texas, whenever you go to take your test or start getting ready to, you can send all those in. And I got to tell you, Lisa Hill is really good about that. And I've talked to her several times about what my plumbers are doing or what they're trying to do. I've got some that were in the military. I've got some that worked in California where a license isn't required. And she's always found a way, and I say always, most of the time, found a way to say, look, how can we verify these hours? How can we verify that this person really did do this? And if we can come up with that, so beneficial because it helps them a lot. So Aiden, if you can document it that way, every time you work for a company, when you get ready to leave and you say, hey, look, my wife's getting relocated, transferred, deployed, whatever it is, and we are having to go here, can you do me a favor and can you fill out this documentation of my hours? And, most plumbers, most master plumbers understand how important that is. So I think that'll work out good for you, and that is how I've seen it happen. So again, Aiden, thank you very much, and thank your wife for her service to our country. I do appreciate it. It's neat that we get so many different tradespeople in here. And like I said, those of y'all that are in the trades or want to be or are already in and want to get better, go check out the www.thetrade talks. Check out the magazine. Like I said, we have had so much fun doing this. And this is another way, this channel right here is all about plumbing. And that's what we talk about. And man, we've got great things coming up. And I'm so excited about them. And matter of fact, it'll be a month from now when we really start doing all that. So we're looking forward to that. I think October 7th is going to be the first day that we roll out a sponsored video. So we're so excited about that. And we are talking to these people about cool things that we can do together for the plumbing community. So I don't think I've ever been as excited about an opportunity as this one coming up. And man, I'll just tell y'all right now, it's going to be exciting. I am so looking forward to it. RS gave me a super chat. Victor Capel, R1890. Okay. Oh, okay. What's the R? I have no idea. Will? Man, you're supposed to know everything, Will.
I have no idea what the R is.
Okay. Victor Capel, how are you, sir? You got quite the stash. Your WWE name would be the Plumster. Man, you gotta love that. Now, Will, you normally put up questions. This is the only comment that was left?
No?
That's a good
It's
one.
a super chat.
I like that. Victor, thank you so much. Look, I have people call me Hulk Hogan. I've had people say that I'm going to not use the other word, but offspring or child of Hulk Hogan and Mr. Clean. So I get some pretty wild comments. I like that, though, the Plumster. Man, I'm all over it.
By the way, the R stands for reals, their country's money. I think Victor's from Brazil. I think is what I saw.
So cool. I tell you what, and look, we love to travel. My wife and I. Matter of fact, Will and I have gone scuba diving down in Cozumel. Will and me and Julie, and man, we love getting out and doing it. Okay, so that's why it didn't ring. My Well, you got to fix my clock, man. What's up with you?
It's not me. It's the clock, man.
Look, it's all Will's problem.
How come all you old folks blame everything on the young people?
Hey, you're the ones that are here, and y'all are the ones that are technological advanced, not us. It is what it is. Nick Wee, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat, sir. You should explain to beginners why dry fitting is frowned upon to save them from a crucial mistake down the road. We've all been there. You know what? And I probably have too. I was taught in the very beginning not to dry fit, though. I was taught to measure, check, double check, triple check, yada, yada, yada. But, Nick's right. If you dry fit, especially copper fittings, and I'm going to say copper because that's what we use. If you're running water in PVC, CPVC, something like that, dry fitting, maybe you forget to come back and glue something, and you turn on that water, and I mean, man, you can have a mess. So you're right. Same thing on the sewer. I've seen plumbers dry fit PVC. I mean, it's really easy to see if there's no primer on it. You would think you would notice. But I've seen plumbers dry fit that too. And sure enough, they come back and do a test. And, I mean, you look up, and all of a sudden you've got PVC, and you look up and water's coming out of it, and you look and it's like, okay, there's no glue and primer there. It's like, let me get out of here. Go try to get the test ball pulled as quick as you can. The reason being is it's going to start flooding. So, Nick, I appreciate you, but I keep looking up like there's a test ball. My foam over here, I see it's just a little curve. And when I looked up and I'm talking about water, it almost looked like 3 little water drops on the bottom of it. So that's pretty funny. Trades are, to me, and that's why I started doing the magazine. It's a great way for people to improve their lifestyle, move up from where they're at. And, I said earlier, Julie and I talk about learn your way up. If you're in a bad situation, you're in an area where you're not happy, you're in a point in your life where, look, man, I can't get out of this town because the town keeps holding me down. And you can find a job in the trades to help you get up to another level where you can afford to get your way out and you can afford to do things. And that's why I really love helping people get into the trades, not just plumbing, but all of it, because I think that the opportunity is there for us all to improve our value. And if we can learn more, if we can do more, we can improve our value, we can really get out and do better things in life. $5 super chat from Mute. These days, do you think it's worth it to work up and start a new company, or just get in good with an existing one and build some footing? Mute, if you go through and look at the things I talk about in some of my videos about, and we did this just the other day, going from newbie to company owner. What is your long-term goal? And I talked about that in like the very first step. Know where you want to end up. Do you want to end up owning your own company one day, working for yourself and dealing with the headache? Because there's a lot of headache involved with it, but the reward can be great if you do things right. If not, do you want to be somebody, and look, and man, I had this conversation earlier. When I was a plumber, meaning I worked for another company, I wasn't doing anything on the side. And I say I wasn't doing anything on the side. I didn't have any side jobs plumbing. I used to always be one of these people, even when I had a full-time job plumbing. I worked weekends. I used to be a bouncer, a bodyguard, a bartender. I've done so many different things that I love staying busy, and it keeps me out of trouble. And trust me, when I've got an idle mind, I can really get in trouble. So I've always found a way to stay busy. What I'd ask you is, what do you want to do? I wish that I'd opened my own company a long time ago, but I also wish that I would have known who to study, who to watch, who to listen to learn to do things the right way. That would have really helped me out a lot. We're taught a lot of things in school, but we're not taught entrepreneurship. It's something we've got to learn on our own and grow with. So, Mute, I'll tell you, think about where you want to be. And I've got some great videos where I talk about it and ask a lot of different questions. what do you want to do? Are you the kind of person that it's great to work for somebody else? Because look, when I worked for them, man, I did good. I've always been paid well because I've always worked hard and brought more value to my company. And I mean, look, man, I had a nice car, a truck, a Jeep, a motorcycle. I say nice car, a nice house, a truck, a Jeep, and a motorcycle. And man, I've always been a hard worker. Then one day I asked myself, like, if I'm going to work this hard, shouldn't I work for myself? So you got to figure that one out yourself. We're all different. Some of us could never be entrepreneurs because the focus, the dedication, and I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying something that some people, look, the first time I tried opening my own company, man, I screwed it up bad. I made as much money as I needed to have fun and pay my bills. That was it. And then I wouldn't work. I'd be like, look, I'm good. And I've got a friend that is a roofer, owns a roofing company, has a safe full of money, and he works about 3 months every couple of years because that's all he's got to do. Then he'll put up that money and he'll live the next 2 years not working, going hunting, going fishing, going golfing, and that's what he does. But that's the lifestyle he wants. So it's up to us what we do and how we do it. Jay Smith, how are you? Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Roger. What are important to teach an apprentice to encourage him to succeed? Just got your journeyman. You work under a masterman. Thanks, and God bless you. God bless you, brother. I appreciate that. Here's the thing. I think that apprentices need to be taught that they can be whatever they want to be. And, I talk about that in my mini course. And look, if you're not in the trades yet and you want to get in the trades, I've got a free mini course. I think it's plumstudy.com. There's a video on the YouTube channel that'll direct you to it. But my thought is, when I got into plumbing, I just knew I was going to be a plumber. I did not understand that there were different types of plumbing. I didn't understand that there was service and new construction. I didn't understand there was residential and commercial. I didn't understand union and non-union. I just knew that I was going to work for a plumber and I was going to be one. Or I was going to work for a plumbing company and I was going to be a plumber. And I say that because had I known then, hey, look, if you'll learn this and you'll learn this and you'll learn this, you can actually own your own company one day. That thought never crossed my mind. My parents weren't really entrepreneurs. My dad worked for AT&T and worked for there for 40 years. My mother worked maintenance out at Kraft Foods. And, they were both hardworking people. Nothing is, and look, my mother was the greatest on earth, told me I could do whatever I wanted to do. Just didn't really tell me, hey, you got to work hard at it, or you've got to figure out how to do it, or here's how you do it. She told me, look, I can do anything. And luckily I've always believed that. I never understood how or whatnot. So I think that's one of the biggest things that apprentices can be taught to succeed is you can move up as high as you want to move up. And it's only up to you. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't, that you're not good enough or anything like that. You can all learn your way up. I've got some videos where it talks about, look, these are the 5 or 10 things you can do to be the best freaking apprentice ever or become the best journeyman. And I really think that that's what it takes. And look, Jay Smith, I love that you're asking this because that means you care enough to want to teach them right. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things is there's a lot of journeymen out there that don't want to teach, that really don't want to do anything. Now that they're journeymen, they think they're done. And people that are in the trades, think about this. And I got interviewed on one of the biggest Fortune 500 entrepreneur podcasts there are just the other day. And literally that was the big thing is a lot of people, when they get their license, they think that's it. I'm done. I'm good. I'm a journeyman now. And there is so much more you can do. So one of the biggest things that I get commented about all the time is the fact that I tell people all the time, look, never stop learning. There's new techniques, new tools, new materials. Never stop learning. You can always grow and do better. Genji Kizano, how are you doing? What is the flex tape of the plumbing world? You know what, man? I wish I could tell you. I don't use products like that, so I don't know. I know that Will, you just ordered some stuff as seen on TV.
Yeah, I was doing some research. We're gonna have you try out some of these as seen on TV, quick plumbing fix type gadgets. There's quite a few of them, and I'm interested to see what you think of them.
And I tell you what, and some of these things look pretty good. I've seen a lot of them on TV, and I thought, man, if that stuff worked, that'd be amazing. So, Genji Kizano, I'm gonna let you know, I don't know yet, but if I find a flex tape that I think really does work, man, look, I don't mind telling people about something that works, because look, if it can save us all in a bind or something like that, I think that's fantastic. Actually, I think that's wonderful. So
someone said flex tape is the flex tape of the plumbing world.
Yeah, you know that, and I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? To be honest, look, like I said, I don't use that, and I don't know if Ruan's in here. I don't know. I know that we got about 35 more minutes. If I don't know how many 5-star reviews we got on Google or Google Maps, but guys, if like Ruan said, look, if we get 100 of them in there, he'll donate 500. I will turn around and find a way to give that away to somebody. So. And when y'all get done here, jump over to Google Maps, give us a 5-star review, talk about plumbing education, what you've learned, whatnot.
By the way, Ruan said we've only got 30.
30. Well, we may not make it then. Hey, it's a nice try, though. And we still got 35 minutes, so there's still a possibility. Jacob Sergis, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Everybody's telling me to stay away from new construction, but I don't understand why. It seems like more enjoyable work than cutting out drains. And Jacob, look, my free mini course asks you questions to find out what kind of plumber you want to be. And I say that because remember what I said a while ago. And Jacob, this is a great comment, because when I got into plumbing, I just knew I was going to be a plumber. I didn't understand that there was really a difference. But I joined the union in 97 and did nothing but new construction for about 20 years. I mean, till about 2015. So 17, 18 years. And I got to tell you, look, I love new construction. I'm good at it. It's something that I think I see how to get things done on time, under budget, and safely. And I think that's a big deal. Do you ever want to own your own company? And I ask that because it's probably going to be easier for you to do that in service than new construction. And, the other things that I talk about in my free mini course are residential and commercial. Do you want to work on the same job over and over for, a year, maybe 2 years, 6 months, anywhere like that? Or are you one of those people, you might like working on a job for a day or two, then you want to do something different? Residential construction is exactly that. You may go into one neighborhood and rough in 2 or 3 houses 2 or 3 days in a row. Then the next day you may be in another neighborhood doing a top out or setting fixtures. So the neat thing about it, there's always a change. There's always different opportunity. But if one day you want to open your own company, you might really think about residential service, because in the long run, that's normally one of the easier ones to do. It takes less money. It takes less backing. And if you've got somebody good like Ruan Marino, you can make that phone ring. And I tell you what, that's what it's all about. So Jacob, look, I appreciate you. Number one, I appreciate you looking at it the way you do. And that's why I tell people, take that free mini course first. The whole reason behind it is that some people don't know what kind of plumber they want to be. And I would hate to see somebody jump into new construction and hate it because they're on the same job every day, where maybe if they just started with residential service, they were learning new different things. And another thing is, one thing I talk to people about, do you like to build things or do you like to fix things? Because there's a big difference there. So take that and see what you think. Base it on that, not what other people tell you. That way you're making an educated decision. $19.99 from Ruan Marino. Thank you so much. Help us get more reviews. Donate $500 on the next call. Guys, here's the deal. Look, I'm telling y'all, Ruan's fantastic at what he does. And if when you're done here or even during it, you want to jump over to Google Maps and give us a review, that's fantastic. But whether you do or not, look, go check out Ruan's page, because if you ever want to own your own company, you're going to need a good website. And I'm telling y'all, I don't know that I've ever been more impressed by somebody doing the things that they do. And Will and I have studied under different people, studied SEO and foundations and SERP and all kinds of great things. But I'm telling you what, when you talk to a company that knows what they're doing, it really does help. So Ruan, brother, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And look, if nothing else, go check out my webpage later, texasgreenplumbing.com, or go to www.txgpc.com. You bet. I was looking at the screen reading it, and I don't know why, because I know what it is. But go to it and check it out, because this has got to be the coolest website I've had done yet. And, man, I see me staying with Ruan for a long time. How we doing in there, Mr. Will?
We're doing good. You just got a huge super chat sent over to you.
Holy Toledo. $200 from Hidden Resolve. How are you? So I'm in HVAC, not into anything with water, and always sent on calls with odd and poorly maintained boilers and HWTs. Are the hard lines able to be brazed together? I've only soldered once and don't trust Zoom Lock. Good for you. Any tips? I always feel like boilers are going to blow up in my face. Now, when you say the hard line's able to be brazed together, what are they made of? Are you talking about the copper ones? And tell me this, where are you located? And the reason I ask is brazing over here is all we do. The HVAC lines, and look, I've run a lot of them because a lot of the HVAC guys at the companies I work for couldn't braze. So they'd have us come in, run a purge gas, and braze everything. Yeah, I'm really interested in what you're talking about. And I'd be wondered, you say the boilers are going to blow up. Are you talking a water heater, or are you talking like an industrial boiler? Because all the lines that I've ever ran to industrial boilers were pretty much carbon steel, or I've done 3 and 4 inch copper and brazed it.
He said copper lines, New York.
Okay, then copper lines, man, yes, I would absolutely want to braze them. And if you don't, so it says you've only soldered. And it's funny because I saw a comment today, and the bad ones are the ones that stick with you. I've got a video about brazing copper, and the funny thing is I got a comment today that says, that's an ugly braze joint. And I thought, man, I guarantee it don't leak though. And guys, look, don't get me wrong. I believe in putting in plumbing true, plumb, and square and looking good. But at the end of the day, we get paid to put in piping that does not leak. And my braze joints may not be the most beautiful in the world, but I guarantee I've done thousands of them. I used to work for a fire protection company, and all we did was braze. And I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of joints. So Hidden Resolve, I'll tell you what, go check out my braze joint.
He said that, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
he
you're
said
good.
that one of the other techs said that brazing can crack the boiler. That's why he's worried about it. Or he said crack it. So that's why he's worried about doing it.
And tell me what part of the boiler you're talking about. Are you talking about the rods in them, or are you talking about the piping running to them? Because that'll make a big difference. I have actually worked with an HVAC tech and brazed the coils, not on a boiler though. The boilers have the rods, and I have helped. Yeah, I did. I helped a guy braze one of those one times too. He had gone in and cleaned them, and then one started leaking. So I guess there was a buildup inside, plugging up a hole. Tell me what all kind of work you do, Hidden Resolve. I'm actually curious about that. read through it again one more time just to make sure I've got it. So I'm in HVAC, not into anything with water, and always sent on calls with old and poorly maintained boilers and HWTs. Are the hard lines able to be brazed together? That's a good one. I've only soldered once and don't trust Zoom lock. Any tips? Always feel like boilers are going to blow up in my face. And that's a scary thought. Here we braze most of the copper. Anything like that, anything big or anything under a slab or anything that, maybe an area where it could get hotter than would be good for solder. We got Will. I heard that breath.
Yeah. Hidden Resolve said piping doing to pumps or zone valves, talking about a normal hot water boiler for mostly residential.
Okay. Man, solder will work. I've seen solder done on a lot of things like that, but if it gets real hot at a boiler, I'm not sure what temperature you're talking, but I mean, 212 degrees is not going to bother solder. I love seal flossing though, and I would think for something like that, that would be a possibility. Look at my. Tell me this: do all the plumbers there or all the people there do solder? This is very interesting. I like this. And you're in New York, man. I got to go hang out up there for a week last year, 2 years ago. It was great. Loved it up there. I like the idea of seal flossing. And like I said, we used to do a lot. And here's a good thing about seal flossing is, man, they're easy joints to fix. If something does crack or break or anything like that, and you drain the water out of it, you ain't got to take it apart. You heat it up, braze it again. I love that. So Hidden Resolve, man, number one, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I'd be interested in talking more to you. When you go in and watch that video about brazing, leave me a comment in there. Ask me a question. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. And, man, I'll talk to you more about it. Definitely enjoy that. So, Hidden Resolve, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And that's the cool thing is, I think that's why I enjoy talking about plumbing here because, the first part of my career, I did new construction. Then I did service work. And then I got into the union. So, I have done residential, I've done commercial, I've done service, I've done new construction, I've been union, I've been non-union. Or let me say this, I've been union, I've been non-union, I've been union, I've been non-union again. So there's a lot that I've done, and man, I've seen a little bit of all of it, and I love that. But it's so much fun because I love this trade. I love what we get to do. Victor Capel, super chat again from 790. Did you find out, is he in Brazil, Will?
Yeah.
That is so cool. What's the more painfully bad job you ever get? Man, I got to tell you, one of the most painful, and it didn't seem like it at the time, but I was doing residential construction, and I'm up in an attic laying on rafters, and I guess that we were securing a water line or something up there, and it was a 2-story house. So I'm laying on the second floor on the rafters, running the line down in there below it. And at the end of the day, my ribs felt like somebody had beat me with a baseball bat. That's a bad one. And another bad one is we had installed a cast iron sink, and I'm under it, and the cabinet was a little bit higher than normal. It was this custom house. It was beautiful. And I was laying up under it, working on the sink, and was under there for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And when you're laying and your back is making this funky arch, and you got the bottom of the cabinet rubbing back in your ribs and all that, it wore me out. And that was another one. When I woke up the next day, I felt like a train had just run me right smack dab in the middle of my back and freaking killed me. It hurt like the devil. But at the end of the day, we got everything done. We had fun, and we got all our jobs done. So, Victor, man, there's always something out there that's painful and can hurt. But at the end of the day, and I had this comment with a plumber. He texted me last night and asked me about a video. And I ended up calling him and talking to him. And, man, it's it's so wonderful to get to talk to other people that care about the trade. And they're like, look, I always try to do the right thing. And we go through those comments. So it's thoroughly enjoyed it. What tools do you suggest for broken bathtub drains? Man, I don't have my bag in here, and I think I've actually got my tub wrenches over in the training room. I've got 3 different ones. And if I've got the crosshair in the bottom, I like the long fork, and it's got a T on it, so you can literally stick it down in there and try and turn it. The other end of that has like and it's almost like a claw type deal that goes on that fork, so it'll sit right down around it. I've got the dumbbell that has the little and the big end on it that you can stick down in there in the bottom, and it's got a spot for like a long screwdriver or a rod or something. And then my favorite is the rigid, the one it's the internal wrench that you stick down in it, and when you turn it, it expands out. It grabs the inside of the tub drain and spins it. And I got to tell you, Ketchup, it works. That's the one that if the little crosshairs break, if anything else happens, I know that wrench can grab the inside of it and take it out. But I also know normally once I use that wrench, that drain's going to be replaced. There is no just taking it out to check the gasket or put new putty on. When you use that wrench, you can pretty much bet that you're going to be changing that drain out because it's going to scratch or scar the inside surface of it. It's going to mark it up. So I'm normally very careful about that. Hunter P. Great question. What is my favorite part of plumbing? It's got to be the relations with the customers. And again, this is what I was talking with a plumber about last night. You know, we get calls all the time about other plumbers that have messed things up. We get calls about other plumbers that people think have ripped them off or done them wrong or something like that. And Hunter, I got to tell you, my favorite part, and I'll tell you a story real quick. Julie got a call probably a year ago, and a lady calls and she says, "Hey, look, I got to tell you, I found you on the internet. I had a plumber come out," and she says, "Well, let me tell you the whole story. Had a HVAC tech come out to go up and service her units up in the attic, and he's up there for about a minute. And he comes back down. He says, "Ma'am, look, I got to tell you, you got a gas leak. Don't call the gas company because it's not that big. Call a plumber, and the plumber will come out. He'll take care of it. And when he does, call me, and I'll come back. And then when I come back, we'll take care of you." So she had a home warranty, so she called the home warranty and said, "Hey, the HVAC guy y'all sent out was great, and he found a leak. He's going to come back, but I need a plumber out here." So a plumber comes, and Hunter, remember, this is a elderly lady, but the plumber comes out, walks up, knocks on the door, says, "Hey, I'm the plumber." She says, "Yeah, I got a leak in the attic." He says, "Well, let me check the line outside real quick, and then I'll come in." He's out there about 10 minutes and calls her out, goes out and goes to the side of the house, and he starts thumping on the gauge. He said, "See this gauge? See how it's bumping? See how the pressure's dropping? You've got a leak in your yard service. It's going to be $10,000. Call me and tell me when you want me to get started, and I'll get your gas turned back on then." So not only did he tell her she had a leak outside, he didn't even go up in the attic, but he told her it's going to be $10,000 to get her gas turned back on. So the lady tells him, "Look, I'll call you later." Said, and the funniest part of the story is she's talking to Julie, and she says, "So I went out back and I cussed a little while, and then after I cussed, I prayed about it. And then I turned on the computer and y'all came up." And she said, "So, I was just wondering what to do." And Julie sent one of our plumbers out there, and he went and tested it. The yard service was fine. She did have 3 leaks in the attic. He was there for a little while, taking things apart, putting it back together. Cost her $800, but there was no $10,000 gas relay that needed to be done. So you ask what my favorite part about plumbing is. It is honestly taking good care of people. And when you can look at things like that and say, look, we always want to try to do the right thing. And look, I give my plumbers that power. I tell them any house you walk in, you treat them like it's your mother and your grandmother, and we will always do the right thing. And things like that are big to me because I'm always wanting to make sure we're doing the right thing, but not just me, every single plumber I got. So Hunter, I appreciate that question. I love stuff like that. I think it's a big deal that as plumbers, we're always professional. We're always taking care of people, and we're always doing the right thing. So, cool Mario dude. Is that my name or is that your name? I had somebody tell me the other day I look like Mario's brother or dad. Hey, Roger, how hard is it to install a sink faucet for a beginner? The connection under the cabinet is connected to PEX. Do you have PEX going up from the angle stop or do you have PEX coming out of the wall? And the reason I ask is, look, and a sink faucet is easy to install. And I say that because, number one, you've got the angle stops right there, turn off the water. Now when you disconnect those water lines from it, and number one, before you completely disconnect those water lines, loosen them slowly with a towel up underneath them. That way if any water drips or maybe the angle stops don't work and it doesn't completely shut off, you don't want to get water everywhere. So shut off the angle stops, open the faucet. That'll kill any pressure. See if it's still running. If it is, the angle stops aren't holding, you may have to turn it off outside. But then put your towel under there. Take apart your stops. Take apart the line coming out of the top. Remember, you turn the stop off, so you still want it connected to the wall, but you want to take apart the lines coming out of the top. Now they've got extendable basin wrenches. They've got all kinds of tools that you can reach up in there and undo the stuff on the faucet with. And as you do that, it's going to help you out because it gets looser and you'll get that pulled out. One thing that I'll tell you when you buy the new faucet is make sure that you either carry the old one to the hardware store with you or order it online. Great plumbing places to order from there. But you can also take a picture of it before you start. Carry that picture to wherever, get online, wherever. Make sure that when you order, you know exactly what you're looking for. Do you have a 3-hole sink, a 4-hole sink, a 1-hole sink? Know what you're ordering. That way you can order the right thing. And truthfully, it's not hard to do. Getting the old one off, there's normally no directions. So you're going to look up in there and figure out what nuts you need to undo, what screws you need to loosen, what kind of things can you take apart to loosen it up to get it out of there. And then when you put the new one in, that's normally a lot easier because you've got directions right there with you. So, cool Mario dude, I appreciate that. Good question. The neat thing is, and guys, one of the best videos we ever did was teaching people how to turn the water off to their house. Once you can figure out how to do that, you've got it made. You can get under there and work on anything. Thank you for the super chat from Mr. Ryan Harper. My brother, how you doing? Hey, brother, love seeing your growth. Ryan, we were talking about that earlier. We have literally, in the past 10 days, got 75,000 subscribers. Pretty crazy. But, no, 65,000 subscribers. Pretty crazy. See my math's wrong. I've been counting numbers so much lately, it's blowing my mind. 65,000 subscribers in 10 days. Man, definitely blown up. Our views have gone through the roof. Subscribers have been wonderful. Comments have been fantastic. So, Ryan, brother, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The neat thing is, and like I said, look, I've reached out to a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of them have reached out to me. And we're putting information out that people are enjoying. So, if you enjoy it, man, give us a thumbs up, like it, comment it, share it with somebody. Do something cool like that. We really do appreciate it. $10 super chat from Aggressive Twig. Thank you so much. Is it normal for a tub that was put in where a shower was to have a man-sized hole in the slab under the tub? I'm going to tell you, yeah. Maybe not man-sized hole, but when plumbers install bathtubs, down where the drain is, it's kind of hard to get that drain in the exact perfect spot. So what plumbers do, they stick 1.5 inch arm over into it cap it off, and then fill it with dirt. And normally it's a 12 by 12 box, something like that. Fill it with dirt. That way when they pour the concrete, there's no concrete there to chip out. Now when it's time to set that tub, you pull that box out, pull the cardboard out, dig the dirt out till you find your drain. Now you can put your P-trap on, and you know the measurement right off the wall and right off the side stud. So you know right where you're supposed to be, and get your drain right where it goes. Put that tub in, set your waste and overflow in, hook it up, and you're good to go. Man-size hole, maybe not. And if you put the tub in where the shower was, that may mean the plumber jackhammered a big hole over to run that drain over. But to be honest, he should have filled that in with concrete. So different ways to look at it depending on which way you went. But, man, you can always fill those holes in with concrete, and that's going to keep termites, critters, roaches, anything like that out. I know that's probably not what you want to hear right now, but that's really what it is. So anyway, Aggressive Twig, thank you very much. I appreciate that. A lot of people in here today. I like that. Got a $5 super chat from Riley Walker. Speaking of crawling around, they need to make a bulletproof vest instead of metal plates. They use foam pads, and you could also carry small tools. You know what? And here's the thing. I love the bulletproof vests. Make sure that you're using the right safety tools for you as a plumber. I really like that. You know, and look, I don't know if y'all have seen the video that I did, the Vito Pro Pack, my backpack. Oh my God, I love my new tool bag. And you know, the neat thing is, and I talk to plumbers about this all the time, is number one, have the right tool for the right job. And Riley, look, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's a great thing to talk about because, you know, having the right tool, having the right job, having the right bag, or whatever it is you carry your tools in, but also wearing knee pads, wearing gloves, wearing work boots, wearing glasses. You know, make sure you take care of yourself, especially when you're crawling around. If you're under houses, stuff like that, make sure you're taking care of yourself and doing things right. And you can get in the best spot down there. Now, the bulletproof vest, take out the metal plates and put in foam pads. I love the backpack I've got. It's got two sides to it. So when I take it off, you open one side, you can also open the other. There's tools on both sides. It is wonderful. So if y'all hadn't seen that Vito Pro Pack, Riley, jump over and check it out and see what you think. Man, I love it. It gets the job done. So Riley, thank you very much. Guys, I know it's 5:20 here. If y'all have already got questions in, great. If not, man, turn them off, slow them down. I know Will's trying to stay caught up and get going, so we'll get there.
Yeah, and if you're save your super chats for the next live. I don't want you to do a super chat right as he's closing and he didn't get to your question.
We'll shut down here in about 10 minutes, so no more super chats. Jess Marshall, time to get on that podcast. You know what, man? It is. I've got we're so swamped right now. In everything. I've been a plumber short. We just hired a new plumber, get him in tomorrow, I believe. Really excited about that. You know, finding the right people for me is hard because I'm very picky. We hire for culture, and we want to make sure that we get the right people in here. And, you know, I've been looking for a while, and, you know, and I say I've been looking. We've been looking, but then something had happened and, you know, things had slowed down or, you know, different things, this, that, and whatnot. But, man, things are good right now. Found a good plumber, bringing him in. Looking forward to it. And, of course, Amber's been doing things. So, Jess, thank you very much. Yeah, podcast, brother, it's definitely time. And I've been doing a lot of those lately, so it's pretty wild. Got a super chat here from Ken Main. How are you? Ken or Kyan, I hope I got that right. I have a leaking stopcock on an output of hot water tank with communal hot water heat exchanger. Could emptying the tank without stopping the heat exchange flow damage anything? want to stop the leak before new seal comes. I'll tell you what, Ken, if you will send me a picture of the leak to video@rogerwakefield.com, I will look at it and see. Is it a gas heat or is it electric heat? What kind of heat is it? And the reason I ask is you may need to turn off the heat before you drain any water. And it may be something that you might be able to fix the leak pretty easy. It may be something that, and I've had some before that I've seen that you could actually tighten up a nut on it and stop the leak before or without even turning the water off. So there's different ways to look at it and different ways to go about it. But if you will send me a picture, I will look at it and see what I can come up with. See if there's anything that any information I can give you that might be able to help or get anything done. I love this. I love doing this because there are so many people that have questions about plumbing or about the trades. And to have people that want to be apprentices, people that want to get started in the trades, be able to jump in here and say, hey, look, I got questions. What's the best way for me to go? What's the best way for me to get started? I love it. And I love the fact that we've got some really good people in here. Wills, are there any regulars in here we need to say hello to that maybe didn't ask questions or anything that?
Well, Neil asked a question that I feel like we should probably get to.
Let's get to Neil then. I love it. You trying to find it, aren't you? Neil says, I'm about to do plumbing in the van over the next 2 weeks. What's the difference between normal pipe and food grade, or is it just the name and price? I don't know that we've got food grade pipe over here. All the maybe so. And I say that now because, like, if you live out on a farm, you can run water lines and PVC, but you normally wouldn't do that in a house. I would say that your difference in it, Neil, would be food grade would be for potable water. If you're going to drink it, you would probably want food grade. If you're not going to drink it, I would say normal would be okay. You still want to think about some things though, because if this pipe is going to have water in it and could freeze, you want to remember that. That way you don't end up with a frozen water line, in your van. And guys, if y'all hadn't seen what Neil does, you need to jump over to the Urban Explorer on YouTube. Look at his vans. I remember the video, and I talked to him about it. The video I saw where he cut a window in on both sides. And I'm watching him cut this, man. I'm getting anxious. It's like, dude, you're cutting a hole in the side of your van. But I tell you what, man, after he got the window in, it looked so good. That was really cool. Neil, I got a question. If and this has nothing to do with plumbing or the van. Are you coming over for any conferences this year or next year, or do you even know yet? Because I'm not sure how things are open over there, if y'all can fly in and out yet or not. Over here, man, Will, are we even shut down anymore?
I don't know. I don't know if we can do cross country or out of state flights right now. Sarah's family wasn't able to go over there.
Yeah, I remember, and that's true. Will's wife has family in England, and her aunt passed away, and she was not allowed to fly over there. Her family was not allowed to fly over there for the funeral. So Neil, that's my comment about the water is if you're going to drink it, it probably needs to be food grade. If you're not, probably not. You said next year, by the way. Next year. I love it. And it's so funny, man. I saw the coolest shirt the other day. It said 2020, and it had 5 stars under it, and only one was checked. And underneath it, it said, "No, I do not recommend it." And then Julie had one that she saw, and a guy walks into a bar and says, "I'll take a Corona and 2 hurricanes." And somebody said, "Yeah, that's 2020." Those of y'all that don't know, we had 2 hurricanes blowing in here towards Louisiana. One came in, did some damage. pretty bad, and the other one kind of petered out. But, you know, man, it's that time of year. Weather's kind of tough. Pretty bad, but we're all going to get through it. And, you know, I talk to Neil a lot and Paul. We go to a lot of social media conferences. We deal with a lot of people that, or know a lot of people that we jump in their lives. We watch their YouTube. We talk to them back and forth. There's some really amazing people in this community. That's what makes me feel really special about doing good here on YouTube and growing the way we are is, man, we're so proud of the community and the people that we've met in it. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, do me a favor and, you know, connect with me, reach out to me, find me. It's Roger Wakefield. I do live over there with either my wife, Julie, or my work wife, Amber, depending on if it's Tuesday or Thursday. And we talk about plumbing. We talk about social media. We talk about just running a business. So we talk about a lot of different things over there. But YouTube has been really good for me. And for those of y'all that don't know, I walked into a conference 2.5 years ago, started learning YouTube literally the next week. By the next month, we were posting 3 videos a week. So we have fun. We love it. We enjoy what we do. If y'all like what we do, man, look, I ask that you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, let us know what you think about it, and communicate with us. If we've got a video you like, let us know what you like about it. Like Evan Carmichael says, look, if you want to tell me I suck, I'm fine with that. Just tell me what it is that you don't like about it. There's an opportunity for us to work on anything if we know what people are looking for. Those of y'all that are in here for the first time, again, I want to really reach out and say thank you very much. We have worked hard to improve our YouTube channel and what we do every day. I want to say thanks to everybody that jumped in here today. Thank you to all the super chats. Will and I are working on a membership deal where we can do special things for people that want a little bit more. If you hadn't checked out the merch, man, I was actually wearing my shirt yesterday. Said, eat, sleep, plumb, repeat. And I got to tell you, it's actually pretty cool. I know y'all can see the hat over here. We're having so much fun doing this, but the neat thing about it is it's allowing me to help people. And there's so many people that send me messages that say, look, thanks to you, I got into plumbing and it's changed my life. Thanks to you and the things that you do, I'm learning more, or I'm learning plumbing where I've worked with plumbers and they really wouldn't teach me, but now I'm getting to learn. So it has been wonderful. We try to jump in here every Monday. There's times that we may have to go a little earlier or a little later, and you know, who knows? Next week is Labor Day. Yeah, we won't be here next Monday. I'm not coming in, Will. Are you coming in? Okay, just checking to make sure. I thought if you were, I might. So we will see everybody back here in 2 weeks. I'm going up to see my sister up on the Red River, hang out with her, maybe shoot some guns, just have fun, get away for a little bit. I will miss y'all next week because I got to tell y'all, I really enjoy doing this. But what we're going to start the week we get back, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, go till about 5:30 like it is right now. And man, we are having fun. So if you've enjoyed this, if you like it, do me a favor. Please tell somebody about it. Please let them know that, and if they want to learn anything about the trades, it's a great spot to jump in. If you have not jumped over to the Trade Talks, go over there, check out the magazine. We've had so much fun doing this, and we're going to release them about every quarter. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will come back again. We really have enjoyed the time. Anyway, I'm Roger Wakefield. Oh, first of all, thanks to the moderators, Paul, Neil, Will, Julie, Amber, Grayson, everybody that was in here. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate all you for showing up each and every Monday. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.